Hi guys, today we're joined by UK freestyler Steve Gray. Steve, what are you going to be teaching us today?
Today we're going to be learning how to do the alternate lemons around the world.
Okay, so step one would be to get comfortable with the two tricks that are really going to help you for getting a feel for the alternative lemons around the world. And they are the Hop the World and an Inside Lemons around the world, both of which will have the tutorial links in the description below, so be sure to check them out and bring yourself up to speed. Now then, the Hop the World is important because it is familiarising yourself with hitting the ball up with your weak foot and then doing the revolution with your strong foot. And we're going to be applying the very same thing to the alternative lemons around the world as well. Now, the lemons around the world, on the other hand, is really important because you guys need to have a fairly comfortable feel for doing two revs with your strong foot. And there is also elements of timing your jump with the lemons around the world that are really going to help you when it comes to learning the alternative lemons around the world. So once you have those two tricks down to a T, the second step is going to be getting the right technique and perfecting the technique for the alternative lemons around the world. Now, of course, unlike the Hop the World here, we are instead kicking the ball up slightly higher in order to give ourselves enough time to go around the ball twice. And in turn, this also means you might find yourself having to jump a little bit higher as well. And this is where those people who have that lemons around the world really nice and consistent and can do it at various heights as well. They can do a low lemons around the world, they can do a high lemons around the world. Those are the people that are probably going to have a little bit of an edge in getting to grips with the alternative lemons. So when doing the alt lemons, you really want to focus on keeping your balance. What I mean by that is you want to keep the ball close to you. You don't want to have it so close to you that you find the revolutions really awkward to do, but you want to have the ball at an appropriate distance where you aren't straining to sort of make the revolutions around the ball. Another thing that you really want to try and avoid doing is when you go to do it and you knock the ball up, you want to avoid knocking it too far out to the side. Some people may find that they do that a lot with their lemons around the world. Similarly, if you keep your head over the ball and keep the ball relatively central to you when you knock it up, I believe that this gives you your best chance of doing the revolutions cleanly, landing it cleanly, and going on to combo as well if needs be. If at first you find yourself doing a really big hop motion, that's absolutely fine. There isn't really anything wrong with that, just as long as you're following the other tips and you're really conscious and aware about them and the ball placement and stuff when you go to do the trick. But with the exaggerated hop motion, sometimes with that, for some people, it can bring with them this mindset that they're going to be doing the trick in two separate motions, knocking the ball up and then going to do the revolutions. But really, ideally, it should be fluid. It should be like one motion. So as you are hopping, you should find yourself already going into doing that first revolution. That's what you should be aiming for, really. And one last really important point I want to make is that this trick technique, it is going to vary for everyone, and that's absolutely okay. If we use myself as the example, I typically aim to try to knock the ball up to about waist height, sometimes a little bit higher, sometimes a little bit lower, but in the back of my mind, I know as a reference point that waist height for me is comfortable enough for me to be able to actually attempt it. And I say that because I've got quite long legs. It's all about finding a technique that works for you. And really the bottom line is just if you keep practicing knocking it up to that comfortable height and distance from your body and attempting it, then you shouldn't have too many problems with it.
So that is the alternate lemons around the world. Obviously you can do it inside, you can also do it outside. I've shown you guys how to do it inside. I think it's a really useful trick to have in combos. You know, it's an alternate two rev, it's a little bit harder than usual, but it's just all about practice. And if you guys can just keep popping it up to the same height and get used to your legs going around it twice, I'm sure you guys will get it with no problem at all.
Yeah, thanks a lot for that, Steve.
Right.
Guys, if you want to check out more of this guy, I'm going to put all his links in the video description below. Definitely go check him out. Really hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, and thank you for watching.
Cheers, thanks for watching guys.